Intermittent fasting is all about timing. By consciously dividing the day between times to eat and times to fast, many people claim to have lost weight and gained health. But is there science to support these claims? And are the benefits enough to make intermittent fasting worth your time? In this video, I'll share what happened when ordinary people fasted for science and provide some insights that may help you get the most out of fasting. One of the first studies to put intermittent fasting on the map had overweight participants restrict the number of hours a day they consumed calories from their average of more than 14 hours down to 10 to 12 hours. This time-restricted eating pattern resulted in measurable weight loss, with the average participant losing 3.27 kilograms, which is more than 7 pounds, over the course of the 16-week study. This is a good result. But what truly captured the imagination of the world is that the participants were not asked to change their food choices. So the weight loss came from doing nothing more than shortening their eating window. Since that study, there have been many more controlled trials performed on men and women to investigate the effects of fasting on the body. These small studies are often combined into larger review studies that summarize the main findings. And these reviews are nice because they give us a big picture perspective on the subject that we're trying to learn about. For instance, this review study aimed to closely examine how fasting impacts weight, as well as metabolic markers associated with type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and cancer. After digging into the scientific literature, the research team drew a couple of conclusions. They found that when you modify your eating pattern to include periods of fasting, it may improve metabolic health. But because the studies targeting health conditions have been small, more research needs to be done before solid clinical recommendations can be made. As for weight loss and intermittent fasting, the results were more significant. After conducting their review, the research team concluded that almost any intermittent fasting regimen can result in weight loss. But what if you've tried intermittent fasting and you haven't lost weight, or you've tried it and liked it and you would now love to find a way to accelerate your results? Are there any insights that we can take from these studies that will give you that edge you're looking for? Well, I would say yes. So here are two things to keep in mind. First of all, the majority of the study participants lost weight even though they did not make drastic changes to their food choices. But they were fasting consistently for a number of weeks, and it was most likely that consistent effort day after day that led to the results on the scale. So takeaway number one is that fasting does not have to be practiced every day if you are pairing it with a healthy diet. But if you're not wanting to change your diet, you'll be happiest with your results if you stay consistent with your fasting efforts. I will also add that the review study that I mentioned earlier had this to say. Several lines of evidence also support the hypothesis that eating patterns that reduce or eliminate nighttime eating and prolong nightly fasting intervals may result in sustained improvements in human health. In other words, you will gain the most benefit from fasting if you do not eat late at night. So takeaway number two is that if you've tried intermittent fasting without results, or you're looking to maximize your results, then it is worthwhile to try finishing your last meal of the day earlier in the evening. While there's no defined hour that this last meal should be eaten, the current consensus is that you will do best if you stop eating at least 3 hours before you go to bed. This 3-hour before bed rule is one of my 4 daily habits for weight loss. If you'd like to get a free downloadable copy of my 4 daily habits, I will leave links for you here on the video and below in the description area. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon to get alerted when my next video is released. Till then, have a great week.